Now we are going to discuss about the environmental movements or the movements which are raised into social movements because of the awareness of the people, where the small group of people have faced a problem in their village. They have decided that this is the problem and this is the cause. So they have fought against the cause and they were successful to a very larger extent. What is that incident or movement? It happened in our own state. It's very close for us. Let us see what happened. It is like the Adavallu Ekamaite. The concept is named under the name as Adavallu Ekamaite. Now, moving is, it literally means that when all women come together, they can change the entire world. How did they change it? What did they change here? See, here we have a sad incident happened when a woman called Sitama, who had 2 children, and his husband was to work in a small farm or something, and they used to get income by selling their ghee, by selling their milk and all these things. And we have a custom in the poor people, or in the especially in the tribal communities or SC/ST category people, that they work very hard in the daytime, and in the evening time the entire collection of money they used to take and go out and give it to the toddy or the arak shops. The toddy or the arak shops are not any offices for them. These are actually the places where they get some kind of wine or drink for them to drink. Literally means like alcoholic drink, and then they consume it to get relaxation for them, and finally they come home and they scold or abuse the woman, they beat the woman, and they slap their children. In this way, in this process, when Sitama's husband was doing this one, Sitama could not find any alternative, and she was killed literally by her husband's continuous beatings and tortures because of the drink which was available in the shops of arak and toddy. In this process of arak shops, she was completely lost her life, and this incident has motivated many of the people, those who are living in the Dubagunta region. It is a small village. We have even ever listened the name of this one. It is in the district of Nellore of Andhra Pradesh. In this Dubagunta region, all the women, those who are working, those who are friends of Sitama, came to know about the news that she lost her life only because of her husband's over alcoholic consumption habit. In this process, they came to get the awareness that if the men are not supplied any kind of alcohol, this Sitama's life could have been saved to a larger extent. Her life would have been different, and she would have been in a very successful status, and she would have been alive, which is a very really and inspiring concept. And many of the women went to the Sarpanch and gave the complaint asking to ban the supply of alcohol through the arak shops. But the Sarpanch would not agree this one, so many of the women were failed in getting the stop of arak. Finally, next day they decided that they came at the out of the village and stopped the supplying buffalo cart which is carrying the loads of this arak, and they warned the person that if they don't take it back, they are going to destroy it, everything here itself. The driver got scared and he got shine or fear in his spine, and then he removed back it this, and finally they did this daily and created awareness that if anybody dares to bring any of these kind of things into the village, they are going to dismantle them, they are going to spoil them completely. At the same time, they warned the men also not to go in that kind of regions, and they were very clear and particular. All the women, even at night time, they tortured, they checked that any kind of araks are not entering into the village compound. The collector of Nellore has to forego or put the auction for nearly 6 times. He has postponed them, and finally the auction of arak was cancelled. The government could not ban it officially, but the steps were taken but could not implement it. Finally, the most powerful people of liquor mafia could not do anything against the actions of women. On 1993 October, the then government of AP put the prohibition movement into effect and stopped the supply of arak in the entire Andhra region. In this way, the women who started their life, who belong to a very low category of society, that is the SC category or the Dalit people, who escalated the movement and raised the movement, this incident of women spread as a news to all the regions of Andhra region, and most of the women started to fight against the anti-liquor or prohibition movement, and finally this was very successful to a larger extent. And October 1993 to 1995 was a period where the government of AP kept the prohibition on effect. Now coming into the fact that the incident which happened in a particular family of Dalits, where the society considers them as very small people, very less influential people, whose life was considered as mere just waste, but these people have gathered and raised their voices, and they could create change in the entire mindsets of the village. Not only in the village, if they brought it in the district collector has to postpone his appointment schedule of auction for the liquor in that entire region for a particular span of time. Later he cancelled the auction of that particular period. So women power is not a very less one. Women, if they gather together and they start to do something, they can bring wonderful changes in the society. This was being clear evident from this incident which was happened in this Dopugunta village of Nellore. At the same point of time, coming into ground reality, today the prohibition is lifted off, and we should be considering that always constant vigilance and support should be there to stop this kind of incidents, and make sure that any of the families will not get affected because of the over alcoholism of men. Men also should be conscious that when they take alcohol, they should not torture any of the women, or they should not hit any of the women of their family members, and they should not slap their children, which is going to harm for them. It should be taken only for an enjoyment or an recreation, but not to torture anybody else. These kind of steps should be taken very clearly, and women power should not be underestimated at any point of time. They have proved many times, and here also it is a live example for us.